Hello, and welcome back to Spiritually Speaking with Skyla, and I have Danielle here again today.
Woo woo! Number one guest.
Best guest. It's been a little bit, so we're very excited. We had a plan to do it 2 weeks ago, and then I changed, and then my schedule got busy, and I was like, I'll see you in 2 weeks. It's not going to work.
This girl travels more than any average person
Endlessly.
would ever be okay with.
Endlessly.
Meanwhile, she's telling me her schedule for the next month, and I'm like, I think I would.
Yeah. My apartment's a mess. Everything's a mess, but that's okay, because some things at least are good. You got to look on the bright side.
Well, it's good also when you're going through things in life to just be distracted, be in the moment, be in other places,
That's
it makes
true.
it a little
Actually, I didn't
easier.
think about that.
Yeah, I think so. Just keep yourself busy, during hard times.
Yeah, well, and the thing I like with travel too, that I feel like it makes you can create a new version of yourself every day because you're in a new place and the people don't know you. Yeah, people don't know you, so you can create a new version of yourself every day when you're traveling.
What's funny about you saying that is, and it's funny because I always talk about how much I love living in Vegas, but I just re-signed my lease, so I'll be here for at least another year and a month. But I think when my lease is up next year, I want to move. And I've been thinking about it, and I'm just like, I just feel like everyone here knows me. Also, not sure if my husband is in Las Vegas.
My husband is not in Las Vegas, I'll tell you that. I want me a cowboy.
I think my wife might be here.
Yeah, I need a good, nice, little, steady man. But
I want a cowboy too.
Yeah. And I was in Wyoming yesterday. I was like, I want me a cowboy.
Exactly. I was hanging out with some guys this past weekend that owned this ranch in Texas, in Fort Worth, Texas. I mean, huge ranch. They have Texas. Shows there and everything. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? These are the kind of men I'm looking for.
They're just reserved and quiet, and they just seem more grounded.
And they're generous and chivalrous.
Yeah, because they were raised right.
Exactly.
They were raised right.
Nobody in Las Vegas was raised right.
If they were born and raised here, no. Hard no. But I feel like they just have better family values, and I really value family values. When people, they care about what their family thinks,
and it's a priority.
Yeah, and they're giving, and because I'm a very giving person, and I like that to be reciprocated, especially in relationships. And that's something I've learned recently too, is I don't want to be with somebody that doesn't love the way that I love.
Period.
Yeah.
And I think that is the tea of it all. Genuinely, I think I really realized this when I went to my best friend's wedding in September, because she wrote me this beautiful letter, explaining how much she loves me. And I just don't think I've ever been seen or loved or expressed that love in the way that she did. And I'm like, until a man feels this way about me, I think I'm good.
I have true love with my friends.
Exactly.
So why can't I find that with a man? I can, I will. But your friends show you, girlfriends specifically show you what true love is like, and that unconditional love, that I think has saved me in so many ways, having my girlfriends and having that love, because it's a different kind of love. They'll make you breakfast in the morning or whatever, and they don't think twice about it.
Exactly.
Bring me freaking coffee. They don't think twice about it. They're just oh, that would make them smile.
Exactly. Your friend literally just brought you coffee.
Literally just brought me coffee because she knew that it would make me happy, and that's just so sweet, and that makes me feel so loved, and just little things matter. Little things matter so much.
I think guys forget that.
Yeah.
I remember that being, because I dated someone when I first moved to Vegas, and we dated for 3.5 years, but the number one thing that I could not get over in our relationship is the little things. Mm-hmm. It's and I would tell him too.
Yeah.
And I'm I'm telling you, and you still don't do it the next time. That makes me hate you. I don't think you understand.
Yeah, it makes you resent somebody. When you tell somebody something, they don't remember it, they don't pay attention. When somebody remembers details about you, I feel that's a really refined, good type of love. When somebody remembers details about you, it makes you feel so cared for. So my best friend, she's allergic to strawberries, right? For a while, I kept forgetting she was allergic to strawberries, and I was like, I'm a fucking idiot. She's allergic to strawberries. She's allergic to strawberries, and it's just pay attention to little things, because it makes people feel like you know them and that you care about how they feel in situations, and it makes such a big difference.
It really does make a difference. Yeah, I agree. This girl that I've been seeing, she was just on vacation, and she was getting me something, and she texts me and she's like, your favorite color is yellow, right? And I'm like, yes. It is yellow. I love that you remember that. I'm gonna cry right now.
Yeah. It really makes such a difference.
It really does make the biggest difference. And I think like it's good, like you said, your friends really show you how to be loved and like how you want to be loved. Yeah. And we should always like compare like the men in our lives to like
and I don't know why we like let that slide. Like
it's like we hold our friends to a high standard and then the men were like the bars in hell. Like,
I don't understand that. And that's something I'm definitely working on like in new relationships. Like I was texting this guy off Hinge for a little bit and like he wasn't making a plan to see me, right? And I was like, I texted him. I was like, I'm not really looking for a texting buddy. If you want to like make a plan, make a plan. And he didn't respond for like a week. And then he responded and he's texting whatever, we're texting. And I was like, are you retarded? I literally texted him that. I was like, are you retarded? And he was like, LOL, what? And I was like, what's wrong with you? Like I literally and I was just like, cut, done, blocked. I'm notorious for blocking people. If you bother me, blocked, done.
I mean, it's
and
good.
I just started doing it. I talk to someone, they bother me. Blocked.
I blocked them too.
Yeah.
It's a new thing for me too, probably in the last year.
And it feels so good because then you never have to see their name.
Never
you never
see
have to
them
see anything again. It's
I
like,
don't want to follow you on social media.
No.
I don't want to see you.
No.
I don't care. I just did that. The same thing happened to me a couple months ago. I was
have expectations and hold yourself to them.
Was texting someone for like 2 fucking weeks.
Yeah, why?
Then we finally go on a date. And then the next date, he's like, I could just tell he just like wanted to hook up. And I just blocked him. I just like I don't even have the energy to explain why.
And also like if I'm meeting you, especially on like a dating app or something like that, like I don't want to text you. I want to meet you and see if there's a vibe. And then if I want to give my energy and text you, I'll text you.
I agree with that.
I want to meet you
immediately. Within a couple days.
Yeah. And then we'll see how that works. Otherwise, like I'm not bothered. Like I just don't like care.
It's funny, like the patterns, how they repeat themselves too. And like this kind of brings us to our first topic of like safety and familiarity. Because like you grow up your whole life. And I think obviously, your first real perception of relationships and love and stuff comes from your parents or like how your family loves each other, how your family loves you and things like that. And if that's not a good standard, then you just spend your whole adult life trying to figure out what you actually want because what feels familiar isn't actually good for you.
It's not good for you. No, familiarity doesn't mean something's good for you. It means that it's safe and your body is programmed to keep you alive, not keep you fulfilled or satisfied. And so you have to reprogram your brain because if you're not in survival, we're not in survival. We're not running from bears. We're not, having to like physically really protect ourselves, or at least here, like, in our lives, we're not having to like actually fight for our life. And so like having to rewire your brain and choose stuff because it's scary. Like new stuff is scary. Your brain will choose what it knows over what it doesn't know every time. Every time. And you have to forcefully change that. And you have to be intentional about wanting to change that. Otherwise you'll keep doing the same. You're addicted to patterns. Your mind is addicted to patterns
in general.
And it'll keep doing what it knows over and over and over and over again until you give it new resources, new information, and you force it to change because otherwise it's not going to change.
And you have the way that you force it to change though is like you have to like slow down and notice. Like you have to become familiar, or like I guess not familiar would be the right word, but like aware of the familiarity, like what does make you feel safe, what does make you feel comfortable, and how you keep falling back into those patterns. So like the first step is just being like, okay, this thing is repeating itself. Like I'm finding the same guy and multiple guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or whatever. So it's like, you have to first notice that you're doing that, you know? And then you have to like break it down.
And practice it over and over and
figure
over
out the
again.
steps and like the flags, like the red flags that are leading into that direction. And then, like you said, now like we've been noticing these things. We've been kind of taking those actions. So we have an easy way of just being like, nope, block this person. Like done. I'm not even wasting my time now.
No, because it's not like, if it's taking your piece, it's too expensive. If it's costing your piece, it's too expensive.
100% agree with that.
And that's something that I've really been trying to like live by, especially because I'm traveling and I'm doing all these things and I don't have time. Like I don't have time.
Well, and the last thing
to
you
be
need
sitting
is a
there
headache.
And doing.
Like,
exactly.
You need to come, like with how chaotic your life is, when you come home, you need to feel safe and peaceful and comfortable. And so like if there's any like wishy-washiness, it's just like not even worth your energy. You have so little time to even build a relationship. So it's like
if I'm giving you my time, it's fucking special. Like, it's special because I don't have a lot of it. And if I'm taking time out of my day to like talk to you and hang out with you and go see you, like that's a lot because I'm not home and I don't like, I can barely freaking cook myself dinner because I'm so tired and do all these things, but then I'm making time to like see you. Like that's a big thing.
And like cook you dinner. Yeah. And it's like, are you worth my time? Because like, if you're not, I feel like
most people aren't.
Yeah.
Most people aren't. And that's kind of like a hard thing to realize is like most people don't have your best interest. Most people don't really care about you.
Of course.
Because you can like, when you're making somebody like uncomfortable or if you're doing something, you know what you're doing. Like you know what you're doing. And it's so frustrating to me that people play dumb because everybody knows exactly what they're doing. They're not responding, they're whatever. Everybody knows exactly what they're frickin' doing.
And I feel like also I know that you're like this too because I feel like we're the same in this way where we're like very upfront about what we expect or like how we like to be treated or like how this how this is. And so like when you are upfront with someone like about how something makes you feel or like what you're looking for or like how you want to be treated and all these things and they just blatantly like do the opposite, it's like what, how do we move on from here, you know? And you're right, I think most people don't have the best intentions in mind. And I think a lot of people these days too, like there's just this weird conditioning going on in our generation where like most people just like aren't looking for monogamy, don't want kids, like aren't looking to settle down. Is, like
kind of weird for sure.
Really weird.
And I think people also, especially people that like are manipulative and they know what they're doing in that kind of sense, they prey on people that choose familiarity.
Yeah.
They know that you choose familiarity.
Yeah.
And they can see your patterns and they bet on that. And they use it to their advantage.
And they keep you stuck in traps. Like we have a mutual friend who's stuck in a trap right now.
Yeah, and just cycling and cycling and cycling and cycling and
the guy in the relationship, I feel like he like preys on the fact.
Yeah, he knows that she will come back. He knows, and people know that, and they prey on the fact that people's brains work that way, and most people don't have like the strength or the knowledge to break out of that. So most people are in that pattern,
stuck in this trap, and it's like the saddest thing ever. Honestly, like I feel like I've gotten to a point, and maybe I started dating really young, and I think that helped me a lot. Like I had serious boyfriends from like middle school through college, and then even when I first moved here, I had a serious boyfriend, and so I think I just got like the dating game, you know, kind of figured out at a young age. And so I put up with so little, you know, at this point in my life. Yeah. But it's so shocking to me when like I have friends that are in these situations and they just like can't even see how bad it is or like how much it's hurting them or like how much it's taking over them. And I think the main thing that upsets me when people get in these situations is it usually, what I can see, is that it dims their light. You know, and like they're just not even the person that they usually are outside of that trap that they're in. Yeah. You know, like beautiful, wonderful. They have like a purpose and like they're living that.
Because it's hurting your soul when you're in a place like that. You aren't happy. You aren't able, most of the time, you're not able to express your feelings in those type of situations with those people. You're not really able to.
You're like a shell of yourself.
Yeah. You're not able to be your fullest self because usually it's like, just like
and you
minimized.
You know, that whatever that trap that you're in, it's pushing you away from the way that you should express and like create. Yeah. And so you almost feel like insecure about expressing or creating because you know you're like this dimmed version of yourself. So you're like, even if I do express or create, it's gonna be shit because like I don't feel confident in myself right now. And it's just insane. It's crazy to me that people can feel safe and familiar and comfortable in situations where
chaos.
they're
feel comfortable in chaos. Like, I mean, even if you look, well, I think like the statistic, for like domestic abuse people, it usually takes them like 8 tries. Like that's like the average. It takes 8 tries for them to actually leave a partner, and most don't actually leave the partner.
Well, and also a lot of people are scared they're gonna like get killed if they leave.
Oh, and a lot of them do, unfortunately.
You know? And like it's like if it takes 8 times, by that, how many times do you really try before your partner kills you or like, you know, like something happens?
That's like
and
an
it's
extreme situation, but it still like applies to so many people.
And most people are scared to even try to leave because they're like, this person gets violent when I try to leave.
Well,
or
that also, and
have
like
kids
some people
or-
don't think they deserve better. You accept the love you think you deserve. And
That's
some people
true.
don't believe that they deserve to be treated with kindness and respect because maybe they were never treated with kindness and respect. So that's their familiar
You accept
place.
the love you think you deserve. That is,
Yeah.
it's very true. And I think that makes me sad too, because it's like, damn, you really think you deserve that? Like, you don't think you deserve like a beautiful love that brings you peace and happiness? Like, that breaks my heart, you know?
But it's a fucked
like,
up world. Like, and I'm just realizing that more and more that like it's a brutal world.
it really is.
And most people don't have that person or people that like lift them up. There's so many people that grow up in homes where they're told that they're worthless and they're told that they're not smart or they make a mistake and they're stupid. You know, like so many people grow up in that environment. I feel like it's very rare to find someone that had like a great childhood.
Yeah.
You know, it's very rare to find somebody.
Which is sad.
That was like
more
lifted
rare.
up and supported. And so, yeah, it's more rare to find somebody that had a good childhood.
Yeah, like when you meet someone and they're like, "Oh, my child was great. My parents support me.
Yeah, they're
I'm still
together.
close. They're still together,
or they're divorced,
You're
but they
like-
still like work together, and they still, you know, like are like nice to each other, and we have like vacations together or whatever, you know." And that's so rare now, and people don't have that support system, and it's so sad that so many people don't have someone to help them and lift them up. That's why I feel like I really try my best to always be like nice to like strangers and servers and stuff, because you never know what someone's going through. And like there was this one story that stuck with me a lot where this guy was like he was getting ready to go kill himself and he was waiting. He was like, I just want one person to smile at me. I just want one person to smile at me and I won't kill myself today. You know, and one person smiled at him. And like, smile at people. You never know what they're going through. You never know. Like,
it's so true. I was literally just watching this show last night. I've been watching this new show. It's on Apple TV. It's called Shrinking. It has Jason Segel in it. Love him. But anyway, the whole premise of the show, sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, is that his wife died in a tragic accident. And just like how he's been handling, he's a therapist, and so just how he's been handling his patients since then and like all of these things. And the episode I was watching, he's like coming around to forgiving the drunk driver who killed his wife because his daughter already forgave him, and it's like this whole thing.
yeah.
But it's Thanksgiving, and the drunk driver who killed his wife, he was supposed to have like a Friendsgiving with his coworker, and then his coworker finds out that he was a drunk driver and killed someone and like uninvites him to the party, and it's like all sad. So the guy's literally going to jump in front of a train. Like this is like his plan. You can see it happening.
Yeah.
And the dad who, you know, he killed his wife, he goes and like meets him at the train stop because he knows he always sits there and watches the trains. And so he was like, hey, like, happy Thanksgiving. I just wanted to say, like, I forgive you and all of this stuff. And he was literally like about to step in front of a train, like right when he came and like decided to forgive him. And like, they just like sat there and talked and had this whole conversation about how crazy of a year it's been and how hard it's been and all this stuff. And like, meanwhile, the dad has no idea this guy's like about to
like be kinder to people.
And it's like
all the time. Anytime that you can open a door for someone, smile at someone, like anytime you can do something, do it.
And I think forgiveness too, like
forgiveness is hard, but it's really important.
It's so important because like even like that situation, you know, like this guy kills his wife. It's so hard. How could he ever forgive him, you know? But at the end of the day, like forgiveness is for you.
Yeah, forgiveness is for you. It's not really for the other person because the other person doesn't feel anything. When you're upset and you have this pit in yourself about someone, they don't feel anything. So how does it help anything? They're not understanding.
You like clear your conscience and clear your heart of that hate, you know? Like it's not healthy for you to just carry around all of that baggage, and like forgiveness really does. And I think that goes back into like what we've been talking about as well, because you have to forgive like your parents, your examples of love, all the things that brought you.
You have to forgive
like,
yourself.
Forgive yourself for thinking you deserve less than, for putting up with bullshit in the past, for like everything you've ever been through that like got you to here. If you really want to change and like open new doors for a real love that brings you peace, you have to forgive everything that like made your heart harden.
Every day
you know?
is a new day.
Yeah.
Like every day you have an opportunity to grow and change. Like you don't have to be stuck in something you did yesterday, last week. Like you don't have to be stuck. You can still be better. Even if you know, messed up, or say you're like, you know, you have a goal for something and you mess up, you just start over.
Yeah.
You just start over and keep trying.
I think people forget that too. Like they think, oh, I've always been this way and like this is what's always gonna come to me because this is how it's always been. And it's like, well, like we've been saying, you know, people love patterns. Like we're patterners people. So if you think that way, then that's all you're gonna get.
And
but
it's gonna be uncomfortable. Growing and changing is uncomfortable.
It's
not
supposed
safe.
to be.
Yeah,
though.
it's not safe for
like,
your
you
brain.
have to be uncomfortable and like go through pain and like go through things to actually grow and change, you know?
Yeah.
You just keep getting the same things over and over again if you don't get uncomfortable and if you don't go through pain, if you don't like face these hardships in life, you're gonna just keep getting the same things over and over and over again. So it's like you either grow, or I mean, you either evolve or repeat, you know, that's just kind of like life in general. So yeah, I think like just the main point is everyone feels really comfortable in something that they're familiar with, but it's not always like the best thing for you, you know? So
yeah, and like when it's because it's so scary to do new things, but like fear is something that your future self is going to have to pay for. When you make decisions out of fear instead of what you actually think is good for you, but you're comfortable in it and you make a decision based on, the fear of the unknown. I'd rather go there, but like the grass is green where you water it. Whatever you put your energy into, that's what's gonna grow. So if you keep putting your energy back into the same thing, going, this is comfortable, this is, I'm happy here, I'm, whatever, but it's comfortable, so you stay. But it's like, that's not how you grow, that's not how you evolve. You have to, like, I really try to live for like my future self because like I know that like the work and the stuff that I'm doing now is gonna make her life easier.
Of course. And I mean, you gotta think, even like look back on yourself 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And like
10 years ago, if I saw myself now, I'd be so fucking proud of myself.
Exactly.
And then some days I'm like, oh my God, everything's so hard, I hate this. But then like if you actually think about it, like if your 10 years ago self were to see you now, like I think she'd be pretty proud.
Yeah, and you have to put it in that perspective too. Like sometimes it seems like you're in the same patterns and like nothing's changing and over, but like look back at old pictures, you know, like go back actually 5 years ago, 10 years ago and compare yourself, how you were thinking, the friends you were hanging out with, like the places you were at, and like just actually show yourself how much you've grown and think about how you were thinking back then versus how you're thinking now. And like, I don't know, I just think with age really does come wisdom, and wisdom can only come through experience. So like you can't just hear something and learn something and I'm wise on that subject now. It's like no, you actually have to go through it yourself. Like you actually have to experience that thing as a human in your own life, and then you're like, okay, now I know how to better navigate that in the future because I have the wisdom to like carry me through it. But over 10 years, like how much experience have you had to like get that wisdom, you know? And so you really do see how much you've grown when you think about like the ways you used to think, the people you used to put up with, the like just all of the things you used to not be so wise about. And then you see yourself now and you're like, okay, like maybe I have changed. Maybe it is good to like grow and get uncomfortable. And I think the more you remind yourself like of things you've overcome in the past. And it's also like, people always get stuck up and like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna get through this. I'm not gonna get through this. Well, you've gotten through everything you've ever been through.
Well, and you regret what you don't do, not what you do.
Exactly.
You do something, you're embarrassed, you're silly, whatever. But what you don't do, that's what you focus on, not what you did.
Of course, because you can't go back and do it.
No.
You can always do it, mess up, retry, whatever. But if you don't do it,
you'll never know.
You'll never know.
You'll never know.
So it's like
that it could have been great. That one decision could have changed your whole life if you just did it. But you have to try.
You know what? Perfect segue, because it's like, what would you change? Like you should think about, and I think this is a really great frame of reference to like move through life. I try to live every day like if it was my last, I would be really happy with that.
Yeah.
And I think like if you were on your deathbed, if you got a call right now, you have 6 months to live, what would you change about your daily?
Would you change certain things? And you should pay attention to those things that you would change, because why aren't you changing them now?
Yeah.
Because your life is so fragile and you never know when it could be the last day. You could get hit by a bus
tomorrow.
Yeah, you can just stand up too fast and die and have a freaking brain aneurysm. Like you can die so quickly, so easily.
You could have a blood clot in your heart you don't know about. Like, you know, just like anything. So it's like, if there's something, if you knew you were dying, and if there's something you would wake up and do differently tomorrow, or even do differently, who would you call? Who would you forgive? Who would you say
who would
sorry
you forgive?
to?
That's a good one. Who would you forgive? Yeah, if you had, a couple months to live, or you knew like but we are all dying. We're all dying.
Yeah.
Like right now, actively, we're all dying. We're all getting closer to when we die. Right now.
Every day. Yeah.
Right now. That is happening.
Every second.
It's not like a metaphorical thing. Like that is what's happening. We are getting closer to our deathbed every day. So who are you going to forgive? What are you going to try? What are you going to go for? What job are you going to go for?
What food would you eat that you've never had?
Where would you go? What do you want to do? Like, do those things now.
Yeah, I literally, when I was in Switzerland, I was on this hike and I stayed in the most like beautiful mountain hostel. Like it was like, I had to take a cable car to get there. And this one day we were just like hiking through the mountains, like no, destination in sight, just kind of walking through, and we stumbled upon this beautiful waterfall, and there was a family there, and I was really young at the time. The friend I was with was even younger. I think I was 22 and he was like 20. And there was a family, and the mom was like, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so happy for you that you're here like at this age. She was like, this has been my dream my whole life, to come to Switzerland and walk through these mountains. And she was like, literally a year ago, I had a brain aneurysm and I almost died. And all I could think about, the only thing I wanted to do was come to Switzerland. And thank God, like I survived, and now I'm here and like I get to see this. But she's like, kudos to you guys for like doing this now, because like I literally could have died without ever seeing this. And like, I'm so grateful I get to be here, but it's like, don't be that lady, Don't
be that lady,
Don't, that's like, really she could have died, and like she wouldn't have even gotten to see and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. And like, I just can't imagine, wanting to see that your whole life, and then it takes you almost nearing death to like actually get up and go do it.
Make a movement and like do something about it.
It's like, you don't want to live like that. You don't want to live like that. You don't want to be on your deathbed and be so concerned about all the things you didn't do, or what you didn't see, or who you didn't forgive, or who you didn't love enough, or who you didn't see enough.
Embarrass yourself. Do the weird things. Like go out and do things, because you're gonna regret what you didn't do, not what you did.
Yeah, 100%.
People gotta get out there and try new things and be a new version of yourself every day. Like, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to change.
Try it.
Yeah, change and just be different. You're allowed to do that. And I feel like so many people kind of, and then like you'll have friends where it's like you do start to change and you do start to grow, and they're like, oh, you're different now.
It's like, good.
It's like, yeah, you're supposed to be different. I'm supposed to change. Like, that's how life is.
Like,
sorry, you're stuck here, but I'm not going to be stuck here.
Yeah.
And that's,
I think that's why they say that though. Like those friends that like, say, oh, you've changed and like, this is like, I don't like this version of you or whatever. It's like, well, maybe you're just jealous because you haven't.
Yeah, or like, now I have boundaries and now you can't fuck with me. Like, and that's I think a big thing. They're like, oh, you've changed. Well, it's like, now I have self-respect and boundaries, and you don't like that because I'm not catering to your needs.
Yeah, and I'm not putting up with your shit anymore.
Yeah.
And I think, that's a part of growing up too. I think, as life goes on, you do start to kind of weed out certain friends that like you put up with too much for too long.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about a friend yesterday because someone asked me about her, and I was friends with her from like 6th grade. But we lived together for a little bit, like when I first moved here, and she was just so disrespectful to me. And I put up with it for a couple years, but like when I moved out, there was one last straw that broke the camel's back, and I was like, you know what? We can't be friends.
Yeah.
Like, you're just not nice to me. Like, you literally actually...
Like, it's like the little comments like that people will make that are like backhanded, or like, and then you're kind of just like, wait, what? But it like happens so subtly that
over
you don't
time,
that you like maybe it's like not enough to like actually bring it up, but the little comments they'll make or the little things that they'll do, you're like, you don't respect me. That's kind of weird. Yeah, that's
like,
kind of weird.
No respect for me, actually.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's what I started to notice with her. And like, someone brought it up the other day. They're like, oh, like, cause they know someone from home. They know we both live out here. So they're like, have you seen her? Like, have you talked to her? I'm like, no.
Yeah, I have no reason to.
Actually, no. She was really disrespectful to me. And like, I just had enough of it. Like, I don't know. Yeah. And I haven't talked to her since, but it's like, some people just don't deserve a seat at your table. And it's like, you let someone cross your boundaries one too many times. And like we were saying, it's like in friendships, we would have such a
higher standard.
Off, so quickly.
Like, why do we allow that?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
We should keep that high standard because like I've been like that for a while with my friends, and I feel like only this like last year or two I've been like that with men, like so quick to cut them off. But like I've been like that with friendships for a while.
Convince yourself in your head that it wasn't a red flag or it wasn't that big of a deal. But like if it made you feel uncomfortable, if it made you feel insignificant, if it made you feel small, it's a big deal.
It is.
It is a big deal. And like speak up for yourself or don't talk to that person, because especially I think with like men or a partner or whatever it is, you try to make them the version that you see that they are, and you don't like all these little things that you don't like. You're just like, but they could be this person, but they're not.
Don't date for potential.
Yeah, like they're not.
That's
whatever they do at the beginning, they're gonna do it for the rest of the time.
Yes.
People don't change, especially in relationships where they know they can get away with bare minimum. Like I saw this, it wasn't like a TED Talk, but it was just like this thing where like the guy was basically saying that I know I can get away with the bare minimum, so I only do the bare minimum. And they're aware of that. I know I can do the bare minimum, and I know she'll stay or he'll stay, so I just do the bare minimum. Whatever I did at the beginning, I'll just keep doing that and never put in more effort because I don't have to.
And that's the thing. That's why you have to come with your boundaries up front at the beginning, because it's like, and that makes it so much easier. Honestly, life advice, like on the first date, I'm asking people, like, do you want kids? What's your plan? What's your 5-year goal?
Yeah, get it
Do
out
we
of the
see
way.
the future the same way? Like, what's your relationship like with God? Like, I need to know these things on a first date, or I'm not going on a second date. Like, there's no reason for us to waste each other's time. If we're not aligned for at least the next 5 years, then like, why would we even start right now?
Yeah, what's the point?
There's no point in starting right now at all. But you know, some people still lie. I did all of that on the first date with my ex, and he just wasn't the person he said he was. So
I also went through that. Some
you.
people just like totally just lie straight to your face. And I mean, like a boyfriend I talked to about in last episodes, he completely love bombed me. We were talking about this earlier. Like he was like, you're everything I've been looking for, you know, like I feel like I made you up in a lab, like talked about having children, met his mom, and then just dumped me over text, like for what? And I'm like, how does somebody that says all those things align with this version of somebody that just dumps you because I didn't clean his kitchen, order him ramen, and I asked him to plan dates? Those were his reasons. And so
I'm sorry, but those reasons are like the epitome
and I'm like,
of bullshit.
But then it makes you question yourself and your ability to pick people and choose people.
Yes.
And that I think is the hardest reality of like coming out of a relationship like that, because you want to believe people when they tell you things.
I cannot relate to that more. I literally, when I was breaking up with my ex, we were sitting out on my balcony, literally smoking a cigarette, like we're done, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just like final days, and we were just like having a deep conversation, and I started crying to him, and I'm like, I just genuinely feel like I vetted you so hard.
Yeah.
Like I really
and I did that too. I literally
you
thought
checked all my boxes. Like I really thought like when I met you, you were like a 90%, and all I ever asked for is 80. Like
80. Exactly.
I think the 80-20 rule applies in relationships. Like if you can find 80% of what you're looking for, that is beautiful and amazing. I genuinely thought my ex was 90 when I met him. And over time of just like getting to know him, he was more like 65. And I just can't believe that people bamboozle you in that way. But like when I was crying to him, telling him like, oh my God, I feel like I vetted you. Like I feel stupid.
I did my work. I did my work.
I feel stupid. Like, I feel like I vetted you so good. And he literally admitted to me, he was like, Danielle, you did. He was like, you did vet me correctly.
That's
like,
nice.
I didn't show up to be the person like I said I was going to be, and like all of this stuff. And I was like, okay, well, it's not me then. But
well, and it's so hard to not like harden and close and stay open to love. And that's something I've definitely been dealing with, is like remaining open to the possibility of love after somebody lies to you and tells you all these things. And it's like, why wouldn't you believe somebody when they tell you something? But then it's like you swap to this way of, oh, everyone's lying unless they prove that they're truthful, and that's a terrible way to be. Like that, that's not a fun way to live, and that's what's really hard about people that do that. Don't fucking love bomb people. Don't say shit that you don't mean. Don't make plans that you don't want to do.
And don't show up as someone you're not.
Yeah.
Just let people meet you where you're at. Like, if somebody doesn't love you for where you're at, then they shouldn't be with you.
No,
you
and
know,
they shouldn't be in your life. Like,
yeah.
And some people will accept you the way you are. Some people will accept that bare minimum.
Go back to your friends. Always go back to your friends and like think about how your friends love you and how they are always there for you. Like, whenever you're feeling hard on yourself, think about how your best, like if this was happening to your best friend, you know, like whenever you're really hard on yourself and you're like, I messed this up and I did this, or I don't deserve this, or whatever, instead of the situation being on you, think of your best friend or your mom or like the person you love the most in the world. Think about them and put that situation on them. And what would your advice be to them? Yeah. You know, like you have to really kind of step outside of yourself sometimes and think like, okay, wait a minute. If my best friend came to me and said, this man did this to her and she was feeling like this, like how I'm feeling, I would be like, bitch, get up.
Yeah.
Like you're, like, you know,
so. And you should be your own best friend. Like it's so sad that we're like, we beat each other up. We beat ourselves up so much. But like, I think I said it in another episode where like, if you were to inhabit like your best friend's body, someone that you love, someone that you care about, would you treat it the same way that you treat your own? No.
Yeah.
Like I would take care of her and nourish her and make sure she's happy at all times.
Make sure she's eating healthy meals.
Eating healthy, taking care of herself, mentally stimulated, you know, happy.
Not putting up with dumb men.
You know? So it's like, have some grace and forgiveness for yourself because you don't know when it's going to be your last day. You don't know what other people are going through. And just like, be nicer, be happier, and be more like truthful. It's so like, I don't know why people say like, oh, like even like little things where people are like, oh, like let's hang out or whatever, and then they just like never text you or whatever. Like, why even say that? Like, why do people even say things
that gives me
they
PTSD
don't mean?
from LA?
Why do people say things that they don't mean? I don't understand. But I guess like at the same time, I'm really lucky that I don't understand because the stuff that I say I mean, and I show up and I keep my word.
Exactly. Like, and that's why you don't understand, because you would never treat someone like that.
Why would I say something that I don't mean? Like, why would I do that?
Because people
why
do.
Would I make a plan? Like, I don't get it.
Literally,
like,
you saying that plan thing gives me such PTSD from LA. Don't get me wrong. I made like 3 incredible girlfriends that like I'll be friends with for the rest of my life. But I lived there for 2.5 years. And like for me, honestly, 3 friends in 2.5 years is not a lot.
No.
And like, I feel like every time I would go out in LA, have the best night with some girl. We would click all night long. We would literally be like, oh my God, I love you. So glad I met you. Yep. And then like follow each other on Instagram. I'd like DM them. Oh my gosh, when are we gonna hang out? They literally never hang out with you.
Why? Why?
Like, why did you even just fake this love for me?
I don't understand. Like, I can't understand.
It's
it really bothers
insane.
me.
And like, also, I think I was thinking about when you were talking about, you know, the love bombing and all of this stuff, and what you should be looking for when you're looking for love is peace. So like, even that high that guy brought you by like love bombing you and making you feel so like lifted and high vibes, I don't think that's what we should be looking for. Like, I think it should be more peaceful. Like, everything he does makes you feel safe, consistent. Like we were saying, the little things.
But that's
like,
the thing is, I did feel safe and consistent with this person, and I was like, I felt like I did my background work. Like, I vetted this person, and sometimes I did all the things that I like did to make sure that like he wasn't weird or shady, and then it all just died, you know. And it was just like, it's so hard to be able to like trust people.
It is
when people do stuff like that. And that's why I think like, you know, having friends and having like a support system makes the difference between.
Oh, it makes all the difference.
You know, manic breakdown.
I think like also something, you know, that I was talking about earlier, I think off camera, is just like, In relationships, I think where people go wrong is they're always trying to find one person that fills up their entire cup.
Yeah, we talked about this.
And like, that's just never gonna work. Like, you have to have friends. You have to have friends or family or a dog or like a hobby or something that's filling your cup in other ways, because like relying on one person to fill up your whole cup,
it's asking for failure. Like it's asking, you're asking to be disappointed.
You're never gonna find.
You can't even fill someone else's cup 100% of the time. So like, why are you looking for that in somebody else? And that expectation, I feel like, ruins a lot of relationships. Obviously, the person should respect you and kind of like all the basic things, and you know, but like, maybe you really like baseball, but your partner really doesn't like baseball, so you go with your friends.
Exactly. You know? And you shouldn't like feel like you have to always be together, like for like hobbies or like, especially like men and women. Like if you're in a male and female relationship, we have such vastly different needs. Yeah. And so like, you know, like we need someone to like go shopping with us, go get our nails done, just yap about drama at work or like whatever, you know, like we need that. Your husband doesn't want to yap about your girl drama and your nails, like, and go shopping with you. He doesn't want to go. Like, he doesn't want to. So, like, don't ask him to. Just find a friend. Or honestly, find yourself. Find your favorite coffee and just go do it by yourself. Or, like, whatever. Like, find a way to fill your cup outside of your relationship.
So important.
Because relying on one person to constantly like just be your only source of like fulfillment, you're gonna get let down.
Regulate you. Like if you are expecting someone else to regulate you, fix yourself. Like you need to be able to regulate your own emotions. And that was something I dealt with in like my past relationship, is like I felt like, you know, something would happen and I would almost blame him for it, like it was his fault. And like, and then when I got out of the relationship, the same thing would happen, and I'm like, oh, that's my fault. Like, that's my fault, and I don't know why I was mean to him about it. You know.
Well, sometimes it takes stepping out of a situation to realize as well, because like, you know, obviously maybe in that past relationship you already had some resentment and like things built up.
And then anything happens and you're like, it's your fault. You did it. You're wrong.
Exactly. So sometimes it takes like stepping out to realize like what is actually your fault and like what you're, and that self-awareness is so important, because it's like what we were saying earlier, like, you know, if you're safe and familiar and repeating these patterns, you don't even really notice sometimes that you're doing it. And so just like being self-aware and like how you're getting yourself into certain situations, or like how certain actions of yours keep resulting in similar, you know, responses from the environment around you or from your friends or whatever, you have to like start noticing when it's your fault. You know, I think a lot of people go through life and they're just like, oh, this always happens to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what are you doing to contribute to that? Like, if the same thing
and you're reinforcing it as well when you keep saying that. Like, when you choose predictability, you're protecting yourself. That's what you're doing. You're protecting your little bubble.
And and it's not really benefiting you at all. Like, you have to be uncomfortable and you have to face the fear and like do things anyway, because it's like, if you keep doing, you know, the same things, you're just going to keep getting the same results. And so it's just really important to take time. I think like meditation is so important. I was just talking to my friend about this yesterday, because I brought up the podcast topic of like, if you knew you were going to die in 6 months, like what would you change? And I just wanted to like ask her the question. And so she was like, I think I would like really work on overthinking. She's like, what would you suggest, like, of how I should do, like, how could I work on that? And I'm like, meditation.
Yeah.
Like,
because you can, like, the point, I think this is something that I learned, I guess, within the last like 5 years. Like, the point of meditation is to have no thoughts and just exist. Like, that's the point of meditation. Yeah, be present in your body.
The neural pathway of presence.
And then you can listen to the thoughts that come in, and you can control them more, because you're listening to them and you're observing them rather than letting them chaos run in your head and you don't know what's going on. But when you meditate, you're able to clear your mind, and then you have more control of what goes in your mind, like overthinking and stuff like that. You're able to separate it.
What you just said about observing the thoughts is very, like, that's so important for people to understand, because like your thoughts are like a sense, like how we see things and we're taking in all this outside information and then our brain creates a picture.
Yeah.
Like the same thing with our thoughts. We're receiving all this information and then our brain creates a thought out of it. You know what I mean? And so it's not really ours. It's just we're receiving.
It's our interpretation of
it's
what's
whatever
going on.
frequency we're on, that we're just receiving this information, right? And so when you meditate, you realize that you can observe your thoughts rather than just identifying with them. This is my thought. This is me.
Yeah.
It's like,
and blaming yourself for your thoughts, like, and beating yourself up. Like, why did I think that? What's wrong? But it's like, that's your perception of what's going on in your human brain
at the moment in time. And you can change it. Like, you can literally be like, okay, I thought this in the moment, but now like I take a step back outside of myself, outside of the box, and I can kind of see it in a different way. And so like, that's just so vastly important. I think the number one thing that meditation helps with is like helping you realize that like you're just the observer of everything that's going on. Like what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're tasting, smelling, touching, thinking, like all of these things, you're just the observer of. And like, that's the one thing we all as humans have in common, is that observer aspect. And so like the closer and like the more familiar you get with that side of yourself, I think like the more peace it brings you at the end of the day, for sure. Cause you don't identify with everything.
Fully
you
agree with that.
Have the ability to like separate it.
Yeah,
a little
something
bit.
I like to do, like if I have like an invasive thought or something that I'm like, what? That's crazy. Like, whoa. I physically go like this and take it out of my brain and throw it away.
I love
like,
that.
And I can feel it and then it disappears. Like it
Perfect.
goes away. I just take the thought out and throw it away. And there's something about like the end, because everything's energy. And and the fact of just doing that and throwing it away makes me feel so much better, because I'm like, oh, it's gone. It's not in there anymore. And it makes me feel better. Like, because you can't control your intrusive thoughts. Like you're walking by and you're like, I could just jump in front of that car, but you're not gonna do it, but your brain is like, that would be crazy. But like, that would be crazy. But like, just because you have thoughts doesn't mean that that's like who you are and that's what you should be like focusing on.
I think that's a great tool also, like when you're trying to break bad habits. Like, I was just talking to my friend, he quit drinking recently, and he had a really stressful day the other day, and he was like, I just like want to drink today. And I'm like, you know what? Go for a walk for 10 minutes and see like if you still feel that way after. Like go listen to your favorite song, go for a run or something. And if you still feel that way after, like try other things. But like, I think it's important to like not act on impulses, like especially when you're trying to break habits, like just because you are really feeling it, like, oh, I really want this thing. And like, it would be so easy and familiar for me to just like continue to do it. The less you like identify with your thoughts and the more you can observe them, like you said, you have control. Like you have real control over being like, okay, I'm thinking this right now, but maybe 5 minutes from now I won't, or 10 minutes from now, or if I just go do this thing and distract myself for a minute, then like maybe I won't have this like intrusive thought. And so like you really can gain so much control over your life by just separating and like creating more space between like your thoughts and like what you actually do, like how your actions align, what I mean, like with your thoughts.
I also feel like with addiction specifically, because drinking is an addiction, anything like that is an addiction. If you have an addictive personality, you shouldn't try to not be addicted to something. You should be addicted to something that's healthy. And that's what I think so many people, they relapse and they do it because they don't find something else that they're addicted to. If you have an addictive personality, you're always going to have an addictive personality. Like that's the way that you're going to do that. So replace it. Just do something good instead, like productive instead of something bad.
And even if it's not the greatest thing ever right now, like I follow this influencer, I love her, but she had a lot of, like addiction problems her whole life. She's now like a little over a year sober, but she made this video when she was a year sober talking about how like, throughout this year, she's become a shopaholic and, just like done a few other things, but she's like, but I'm sober, like I can fix, like I can make more money, I can sell those things or like whatever, but I'm sober. And so like, even if it's not the healthiest thing you're exchanging it for right away, at least if it brings you that joy and gives you that dopamine high that you're looking for the time being, like you can change that again later.
Yeah,
like,
and you can evolve it, and you can, especially if it's something that's not, like a drug or alcohol or something like that.
Oh God, she's a shopaholic,
oh, God forbid, but like
the worst thing
used to do heroin and now I buy dresses.
Exactly.
Choose your battles.
Like how much money were you spending on heroin? It's like you're probably spending the same amount on clothes.
Yeah, choose your
battles. The money
battles.
is the same, and then a year from now, if you're like, oh my God, I have this shopping problem, then exchange it for something else, but definitely, I agree. Like, if you're in the habit of like creating that dopamine high and like having that addictive personality, you should definitely find something that like fulfills that for you. Whether it be like a hobby or like something else, or even just like a new friendship or like anything that can help you
new
like
stuff.
New stuff.
Grow, do new stuff. That, I think, like the end thing of this episode is like try new things, because you're gonna stay in the same thing, keep doing the same thing if you don't change what you're doing. Whatever you aren't changing, you're choosing. And I said that before, and I'll say it again every single day. Whatever you're not changing, you're actively choosing.
And that's such a hard realization, but it's such good advice. And like, I think even like, you know, people in bad relationships and stuff really need to hear that, because it's like, I think sometimes people feel so stuck that they don't even notice that they're choosing it. You know what I mean? And so
that they put themselves in that situation to be there.
Exactly.
Like, maybe you're not unhappy, but you did that. You put yourself here so you can get
like,
yourself out.
take responsibility.
Yeah, like, you can get yourself out.
That's what I'm saying, is like, just be responsible for where you're at and what you're experiencing in life, because at the end of the day, like, your environment, your friendships, everything in your life is a reflection of who you are on the inside. Yeah. And so like, if you hate something about your life, then you got to go inward first. Like, you know, what are you doing that attracted those things?
We also have free will. Yeah. Like, if you don't like your job, you can pick up and move across the country. We have free will, but we forget that we have free will and we can do these things because it feels so stuck and it feels so confined. But you can actually do whatever the hell you want.
I think people are so scared too. Yeah. Like, I know people, like, you know, I'm from a small town in Ohio, so I know so many people have like never even been on a plane, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I literally just moved from Ohio to Las Vegas by myself. You know, like, you can just get up and go. Like, you can do that. And you can make new friends. And like, to be honest with you, I always had a lot of friends growing up. I was never like an outcast by any means, but I think internally I felt that way. And like, I never really felt like I had friends that like really saw me and understood me. And although I was like surrounded by friends, I was always, you know, very social person. It wasn't until I moved here.
Me neither, actually. I never felt like I was like part of a group. Like, I also moved around a lot in different schools, and so I never felt like really accepted and like seen until I met our friend group here. Yeah. And they're just like, there's no like competitiveness with the females, and they just like lift you up, and you're allowed to be like hot and sexy and not feel like uncomfortable about it because like someone else's boyfriend is in the room.
And like even, you know, like this might be weird to some people in like other friend groups, but like even our friends' boyfriends are very like, none of our friends are weird. They're all very
everyone's
like,
just like
we all
affectionate
are, like,
and lift each other up.
Like,
and it's not like
it's not weird if I'm like hugging on my friend's husband. Like, it's not a weird thing. We're not like weird
because
and
there's no bad intention.
Yeah.
There's no like we're not trying to like, because we're not being anything that we're not.
Exactly.
Everyone
like,
in our friend group show up exactly how they are. Might be fucking weird, might be crazy, but we accept them.
Yeah, and even like when we're sad, I feel like people still like come to the function and we'll just like sit outside and cry together for a minute or like whatever. Yeah. Like, I feel like everyone feels so comfortable showing up as who they are. Yeah. And I just never found that in small town Ohio, I'm gonna be honest with you. But here in Vegas, people are like unapologetically themselves, and it's so refreshing. Like, I've just never met anyone so accepting, and I've never felt so seen and like loved in the same way that I love, because I love people like that. Like, I don't care.
I want to be loved the way I love. Damn it.
Exactly.
Damn it.
And so I think that's just a true testament also to like, you know, we did find these friendships later in life, and like maybe it took 20 some years for us to get here, but at the end of the day we found that, and so
early, actually, if you think about it, 25, 20, you know, whatever, that's relatively early in the grand scheme of things.
Exactly. And so like us feeling like, oh, we haven't found our husbands or whatever, it's like, and so
we're
like,
children,
you know,
we're just
like,
little babies.
In the grand scheme of things, like, it's fine. And I think, you know, just a good practice for us attracting that type of man into our life is just to keep doing what we're doing, like being in these friendships, being in these loving,
and being authentic,
open,
being you, because you can't expect somebody else to love you if you aren't authentic and upfront.
Exactly. You got to show up for who you are to expect someone to show up for who they are, and, you know, vice versa, whatever. So,
and the one who loves always wins.
Yes.
That's something I learned recently. The one who loves and the one who puts themselves out there is the one that wins, not the one that, you know, love bombed or whatever, or like did that. The one that is able to show love no matter how many times they've been hurt, that's the person who wins every single time.
I agree because I am that way. Like, I've been burned so many times, and I still give
open.
every single person that like I think deserves it a chance, and like I will always show up authentically. I'm never gonna let my past like get in the way of, you know, this new thing. And so I think, you know, both of us will end up finding the one because because we show up that way for our friends, and we have friends that show up that way for us. So it's just proof that like we
just
deserve
a matter
that,
of time.
You know?
Yeah.
So anyways, guys, you know, don't get too comfortable. And if you were to die tomorrow, then what would you change? And figure that out. Change it today.
Yeah.
There's no reason to wait.
Make notes. Like, just be uncomfortable. Go put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. Obviously, safe situation. But like, go put yourself out there and don't regret what you didn't do.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be that lady who had a brain aneurysm wishing that she went to Switzerland, honestly. No. At least she made it. I'm so happy for her. But like, she could have not. And you don't want to be her. So
it shouldn't have to take a catastrophe for you to get your shit together.
You don't want to get a brain aneurysm to realize you should go to Switzerland.
Just get your shit together.
Just go to Switzerland.
All right, and no, get your shit together. Stay tuned. Peace out.
Gang, gang.
Gang, gang.